And we begin with the latest on the Russia-Ukraine war. Ukraine side has said that a common understanding has been reached upon with the US on a peace deal that is aimed at ending the war with Russia. Now, a 28-point peace plan that was presented to Kyiv last week. The American and Ukrainian officials worked on the plan during weekend talks in Geneva. And in a post on social media, President Trump said that the original plan has been fine-tuned with additional inputs from both the sides incorporated. He added that he's directed his special envoy, Steve Witkoff, to meet his Russian counterpart, Vladimir Putin. Witkoff will meet the Russian president in Moscow next week and may even be joined by Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. This as U.S. Army Secretary Dan Driscoll meets with the Ukrainians. President Trump also expressed hope to meet soon with Putin and Ukrainian President Zelensky, but only when the deal is to end this war in final, it is final or in the final stages. However, some of the issues which Russia and Ukraine are still deeply at odds over have reportedly remained unaddressed so far, which essentially includes a settlement for territories. The Kremlin had previously said that Russia had not yet consulted on the new draft deal, warning that it may not accept amendments to last week's plan. The Ukrainian president said that he's counting on further active cooperation with the American side and with President Trump specifically. The Ukrainian president even said that much depends on America now, reasoning that Russia pays the greatest attention to American strength. The Ukrainian president further accused Moscow of cynicism for carrying out deadly strikes on Ukraine during intensified diplomacy to end the war. He leveled the accusation in his evening address after Ukrainian officials reported Russian strikes killed 7 people in the capital city.
Last night there was yet another massive attack on our country, so we cannot relax or forget that Ukraine still needs defense support, security support, support of our resilience every day. And as long as Russia has not taken real steps toward demobilization, real steps to shut down its war machine, steps that would clearly show that Russia is serious about ending this war of aggression, we do not have the right to stop working to support Ukraine.
In a speech made by video call to allies, the Ukrainian president urged European leaders to hash out a framework for deploying what he called reassurance force to Ukraine and to keep backing Kyiv for as long as Moscow showed no inclination to end its war. French President Emmanuel Macron has warned that Russia had not shown any willingness to discuss an amended version of the US plan, resulting from talks between representatives from the US, Ukraine and Europe in Geneva last weekend. Also, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer said that London was ready to move with the European Union on providing financial support to Ukraine based on the value of immobilized assets. Our correspondent Susan Tehrani has sent us this detailed report on Steve Witkoff's visit to Russia to pitch for Ukraine peace plan.
President Trump says that the Ukraine peace push has entered the final stretch, sending his envoy Steve Witkoff to meet with Vladimir Putin in Moscow, while U.S. Army Secretary Dan Driscoll heads to Kyiv later in the week for talks with Ukrainian officials. President Trump says that the original 28-point U.S. drafted plan has been refined with input from both sides, leaving only a few remaining points of disagreement. Kyiv confirmed that Driscoll will be meeting with President Volodymyr Zelensky in Ukraine, and Zelensky's chief of staff said that Ukraine is ready to work as swiftly as possible to finalize the steps to end the war. President Trump says that he hopes to meet both Putin and Zelensky, but only once the peace deal is close to final. Susan Tehrani reporting from New York for WION World is One.